Okay, so first of all, you're going to get this piece, which is the extruder holder to the body of the catalyst. You want to run the thread these through and then put these on top, and then you would use these to tighten this to the body. So you would have like a rail inside the tool, and then you clamp this down. So this is the end, and what you want to do is you want to construct the body, and what you want is you want to have this bottom piece with these long bolts through it and these bolts tightened. And then what you want to do is you want to take the other end of the hose and you put it in there, but you don't want to put it in there right now. So you get this constructed. You have the long bolt, you have nuts to hold the bottom piece in, you have nuts about 2 inches out, and then you have nuts on top to hold that piece in. Then what you do is you get this piece right here, and this piece is a little washer into a 1/4 inch nut, 2 big washers, a little mesher, a bearing, and a bolt. And this will go right here, but not right now. The motor will go into it as well. Then the motor, what you have a piece of tubing that's glued in there into the coupler. Then it's glued in from the tubing to the coupler as well. So the tubing's glued to the motor, and the tubing's also glued to the coupler. And then you have a bolt on this end, a washer, a bearing, a washer. You have a piece of rubber, a gasket, and then you have a large washer. And the idea of how this works is these kind of mesh into each other, kind of at an angle, and the filament gets squished in between and can't go anywhere but the direction that the motor tells it to. So you get this, you put it on this side very, very loosely, then you put the motor through, and then kind of at the same time, because they need to interlock with each other. There we go. You're pushing them through together. Don't push them in all the way. Push them in most of the way, but leave a little bit of room. Then you want to get this piece, and you want these washers to be hidden on the inside. And then you push this piece down. And you want this to actually go into, there we go, the motor a little bit. There we go. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put 4 more of these on. And what we're going to do next is very, very interesting. How the filament is tightened. Okay. So we get there, and then we have one washer we put out on the outside right here. Keeps the motor from going anywhere. And if we need to, we can adjust this up and down a little bit to adjust the spacing of the motor. And we've got this constructed. We got one more bolt, and we're going to feed that bolt through this side. This hole should normally be a little bit bigger, so if this doesn't go through easy, just go ahead and drill it a little bit. I'll try to have it sized right. But what you do is you go ahead and you put your Bowman cable there, and then you take this big washer, and then you go ahead and you just you bolt that in place, and it holds the cable in place. Let me see if I can get the video. It holds the cable in place so that when the motor turns, the filament will go through and will go through the cable to the extruder. And the idea is as long as this is mounted within 2 feet, it should be fine on the tool. As long as you have enough area that when this moves, this doesn't cross over like this. So it's okay for the cable to bend, but you don't want it to bend more than 70 degrees, because it can have a pinch point and then the filament won't flow. So this is, let me see if I can get the video of this. This is the design, and that washer right there tightens to hold the motor in. The further the motor is pushed in, the straighter this washer becomes, applying more pressure. And this cable, you can also put this cable on the other side. You generally want it so that this motor is tightening the bolt as it's running. So in this case, you would probably want to put it on the other side. Both sides have mounts for mounts. So you go ahead and mount that on the other side. Sorry. Okay, 7 minutes so far. So the other side doesn't need to be mounted. In fact, I would recommend you don't, because that's less resistance on the inlet side. But you can put a couple inches there if you really feel you need to. There we go. There we go. And that cable won't go anywhere.